afternoon, everybody. Well, it's been a couple of weeks now since Christmas. It's hard to believe we're in the middle of January. But the new year has brought some new things for me. I broke down and I did it. So what you're looking at is DJI Phantom 4. I've flown one battery on it already today. I'm out here in a softball field. Flew one battery in beginner mode just to get the feel for it. I'm going to fly another battery in beginner mode. I used to race remote control cars, and I have a couple of RC mini helicopters and a little Millennium Falcon, and so I've got the basic controls. I'm pretty familiar with it. I just bring them back. But this baby is way more potent than anything that I've flown before. Even my RC10 race grade car that I bought was a kit, was real expensive. Even it didn't have the power that this thing has. There's also a lot of laws and regulations to these. Where you can fly, where you can't fly, you know, FAA rules which override everything, and then there's some local rules and state rules that have been put in place that may or may not hold up if you went to court. But at this point, you know, their rules or their laws. One of the places I want to fly is out at the dam, but it's Army Corps of Engineers, and Army Corps of Engineers in their rules and guidelines actually has a rule that you can't fly these out there. So I won't fly it out there until I have express written permission that I can do so. But you know, it's a little cold today, so the batteries aren't going to get the full 30-minute flight time. But I got quite a bit of flight time out of it. I was surprised. So we're gonna take her off again here. All right, it tells you that the aircraft's warming up. It'll show your satellite connections on here and whether you're safe to fly or not. It actually will tell me. The point has been updated. Please check it on the map. It actually tells me I'm in beginner mode, and it's actually telling me that I'm actually in a 5-mile radius of an airport, which there is an airport out here on the hill. There's an airport out here in Lackawanna Township, and there are 3 helipads used by Stat Medevac within 5 miles. So it's just issuing a warning saying, hey, you know, you're in an area, you got to watch this stuff. This particular drone, one of the reasons I wanted to go to the higher cost drone was exactly that. If you fly into a no-fly zone, whether it's an airport or some other government designated no-fly zone, this thing will actually, as it approaches, it will actually lower itself down and actually land itself if it gets too close. If you try to take off in a no-fly zone, it will actually tell you you can't fly in that area. So let's take a little flight here. I'm going to turn the camera on. Okay, looks like we're recording, so we'll start her up.
The home point has been updated. Take off.
Okay, the GPS set itself to home, so if it loses connection for some reason, it'll fly right back to where it's taking off from. Now let's just take off. We'll turn around and look back at us here. So now it's looking at me, looking at you, looking at it, and there's an inception thing going on, I'm pretty sure. But, we'll take off backwards and up. We do the stereotypical drone shot that everybody does. If I can remember which way the controls go, we'll be in good shape. Right about there, it's going to tell me that I'm in beginner mode, so it's going to stop me.
Distance reached.
There you go. It told me the maximum flight distance is reached. It also gave me a warning that I'm in an airspace where there's airports nearby, so I could see planes, not to go much higher. That's okay. I'm below the treetops. I'm down here at the school, so I shouldn't be in anybody's flight path at the moment. So then we do things, just simple things like fly side to side, let it stop. You'll notice it hovers perfectly stable. I have no fingers on the control. That's the GPS working, and that's one of the things I wanted with this platform. And then I can go right, and I have to remember right now, the nose is facing me, and you always fly your controls as if you were in the cockpit of the aircraft. So if I want it to go left, if I push left, it's going to go right. If I want it to go right, it's going to go left. Okay, so that's one of the reasons I'm running these first couple batteries, just to kind of get a feel for it. If I push forward right now, it's actually going to come towards me. If I push backwards, it's actually going to go away. And there are lights on the aircraft, so you can see the front and back.
Maximum flight distance
But even at that
reached.
distance, it's really hard to see. So you kind of have to look at the camera and just kind of see what which way the camera's facing. Even if you got further out, this is capable of going way over beyond where I could see it if I flip it out of beginner mode. But that's the idea of beginner mode, is you learn. Then you can bring it down. While you're bringing it down, there's a control on the camera. You can raise it. I need to adjust the sensitivity. It's really really fast, so it's really hard to get it a nice smooth pitch. But then we can do things like fly figure eight, so I can fly towards me, and I can make a nice bank turn. And again,
Maximum flight distance reached.
I've had some radio control experience, so it's not that crazy for me to do. And I'm climbing as I'm doing this, just to make sure that I don't run onto the roof of this building over here that's beside me. There's a ball field, so there's a couple buildings here. So I don't really want to hit any of those. So I'll try to bring it down a little bit so it's a little more in frame. This is in beginner mode. This is nowhere near. Now I'm flying at a diagonal. Now I can actually turn around out there and bring it back.
Maximum flight distance reached.
And now I have to remember, I'm way out there and I'm facing the wrong direction, so I have to remember which way to turn the sticks to bring it back. It's actually opposite what your brain thinks they would. Thinks it would be, but
maximum flight distance reached.
Yeah, I know. You told me. So I'll pull up over here, look down with the camera, and we can see the lovely little pond that's here. And I'll rotate around, drop the camera a little more, and I can see actually on my phone what's actually happening. And now we'll look back up towards the football field and the Catholic Church, and we'll shoot across the field here.
Maximum flight distance reached.
I don't know if you can see it in this coming right across the camera.
Maximum flight distance reached.
I'll bring it back in towards the camera here for a minute, so you can see what the gimbal does whenever it's drift the copter, you can see that the camera stays level. And you can give it a pretty good jerk and it still stays level on the screen. This is a problem people run into, is they back it up here a little bit. I'm going to set it down for a minute. This is a problem people run into, is they get looking at the screen, which you can actually see the camera in the screen, and you probably can't see it through the iPhone. No, you can't see it. But they actually get looking at the screen and they forget that the screen is stabilized. The helicopter can be doing other things. So you really need to watch. And the FAA guidelines are you're not allowed to fly over 400 feet or out of line of sight. So you really should be able to see it and watch what it's doing. And you really want to do that because you get into trees or anything. This has an impact and avoidance on it. But if you don't, if you have like a tree, something with small branches, very likely you could still hit it because it's made for like buildings and large things. Like the fence that's here, there's a fence around the ball field. It's black vinyl coated fence. I would imagine if I flew straight into it, it would probably not give me a detection. And I can actually see that. So they've got fail safes on it, so you can't run it without doing certain things. So you have to kind of push the sticks in towards the center to get the motors to start.
Has been updated. Take off.
It updates its home point, so if it needs to fly home, and then you just give it a little thrust, and up she goes. Let's see. Go over this way, but I don't think it's. I think it'll see the building before it sees that. Let's go this way. It actually has a monitor that pops up on it for avoidance. It tells me that there's something in the way. I left it recording while I was on the ground, so I'll have to edit that. Let's go down and see if it tells me there's something there. Yep, it tells me that there's something in range, 12 feet ahead. And I'm hovering. Right there, about 12 feet from the fence. So it does know it's near a fence and not to fly into it. The way I have it set, it'll just pull back and stop. But you can actually fly it. Yeah, that wasn't good. You can actually fly it in avoidance mode, where it will actually avoid the fence completely. Hey, how about that? I actually transitioned to forward flight without wrecking. That was pretty amazing. But at this height, you can hear the motors pretty good. If you get it up to its full height, then move out over the center of the field here. I haven't taken it up very high. It'll probably tell me that there's a maximum height limit right now. Uh, 90 feet.
Maximum flight altitude reached.
100 feet's maximum altitude. Bring her back down here. But you notice when it gets up that high, you can still hear it, which is actually a good thing, so you know where you're at if you lose it. But in beginner mode, it comes down really slow, so I'll shift it over here. So you guys can see it again once it comes into range. So I'm just doing different things like flying it sideways and then transitioning to forward flight and actually turning it at the same time. And then bringing it back towards me and turning it the other way. And then parking it right in front of me. And changing the altitude a little bit. I'm not worrying too much about the camera right now, other than just kind of looking at it every once in a while to see what it looks like. So let's go fly some more. Let's go backwards. And then we can turn it around while we're flying backwards, and we can fly forward. Do whatever we want to do with it. And it tells you on the screen what your battery is, what your signal reception is.
Maximum flight distance reached.
I don't know if you can see that out there when it does that. When it reaches its maximum flight distance, it actually pulls up and stops. If you try to keep going forward, it will actually stop you. This thing also has a bunch of active features on it. It'll land itself and take itself off. It'll do pivots and follows and all kinds of stuff like that. But I wanted to just try, learn to fly, get a little good with flying it. And we'll play with all those features. Those features are easy once you're sure of how to get it out of a crash situation. That's my big concern.
Maximum flight distance reached.
Okay, I just took it out of beginner mode. Holy crap. Now it definitely will go fast. Oh yeah, this is a big difference. I took it out of beginner mode. It can definitely fly further now and faster. Woohoo! Oh, it'll actually pivot on a dime now. Oh, that's pretty sweet. So I could actually go way up now. That's pretty sweet. So yeah, once you take that limitation off of beginner mode, you can go a long way away. I could easily fly over the bleachers if I wanted to. Hello. Goodbye. It's pretty amazing how fast they're going. I'm not in sport mode. Way faster than my RC car would go before. Oh yeah, it'll go way out there. I went clear out over the football field. I think that was the first battery warning. Battery lights are blinking. Alright, let's bring it around. See if I can fly it back and land it on the truck. Well, it comes down quick whenever you take it out of beginner mode. Yeah, I know there's something in the way. And we're down on the bed of my truck. That was actually fun. Alright, so that's 2 batteries going. I actually took it out of beginner's mode. It's extremely much, way faster. Way faster. So, that's all for today.